This is what it has been looking like today across northern Luzon. This video out of Baguio, and some of the fantastic people here at Westpac Weather sharing some of these videos here. That heavy rainfall, gusty conditions have been resulting in a bit of flooding. Actually, a little bit further towards the north than this. Out here on the Cagayan River, we have been seeing some flooding out there, especially out towards the north, around the Apari region, near the mouth of the river. Water level rises has been continuing to take place. That is as our tropical storm Kompasu, also known as Marin, here in the Philippines, passing just off the northern coastline right over the Batanes Islands. Gusty conditions being reported there as well. The good news, the wind is being separated by the mountains here, so at least into the Cagayan River, heavy rainfall at times, but they're really missing out on some of the damaging winds here. But the northwest coast across Region 1 still being impacted. And not to mention the high winds, but the heavy rainfall. Where you just saw that video, that is in Baguio, they still could see an additional 300 millimeters in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Robert Speda, by the way, and let's talk about this storm system here as it continues to track towards the west, just off the northern coastline of Luzon here. It's under there, but we're looking at that convection really flaring up in the last few frames, traversing from the west. But here's the biggest concern for me. It's that westerly flow on the west side of that, not to mention the flow down towards the south, even bringing some gusty conditions all the way down towards Cebu. We've been seeing reports of downed trees in Cebu and across Visayas as well. And you can see here on your Monday, as we go ahead through the afternoon and the evening, still got that inflow coming in from the west, and that bulk of the convection center of circulation right in here, traversing here. So I keep on stressing this. I've stressed this for a few days now. The center of circulation is important. We always like to watch where that track is, but it's all about the overall girth of this storm and how wide it is, because, I mean, you have flow coming in across Taiwan, off towards Region 1 here. So despite the fact the center of circulation remains just offshore, this is a monsoonal gyre of a storm. And to be honest, it's almost a subcategory of typhoon. It doesn't act, it doesn't look the same way as most tropical systems do. A little bit different here, and simply put, it has a wider range. It has a wider path that we have to contend with, and that's why Signal Force 1 in place all the way down there towards the northern portions of the NCR. Signal Force 2 from northern Isabela over towards Mountain Province here, also Togonac, Ilocos, and of course all of northern Luzon and the Batanes Islands. Signal Force 2. Don't think Signal Force 3 is going to be put in place. That would mean winds of 120 to 170 kilometers per hour. But 1 and 2 for sure remaining in place here. A great graphic. You can find this at westernpacificweather.com. All right, let's take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Always remember the time frame right there, the top right of the screen. And we go ahead as we go ahead through the rest of this evening here on Monday. Our center of circulation right there, passing over the Batanes Islands, but I keep on stressing it. It's that inflow, basically from Pangasinan towards the north across Region 1. Still looking at the heaviest rainfall. Look towards Iligan into the Cagayan Valley here. Yeah, that's a lot of farmland out here, and the good news for them, I mean, you got showers today, but the Magat Dam right in there, and they're not getting the heaviest of the rainfall. I remember back last November, that did cause some major problems out there. Going ahead through Tuesday morning, still got more showers there across Region 1 as well, as this traverses off there towards the west, and eventually by Tuesday afternoon and the evening, we look at much drier conditions continuing to set up here across the Philippines. Then we change our attention to Vietnam, where this is going to be continuing to track off to as it moves off towards the west, especially Hainan first. By midweek, in the latter part of the week, Vietnam still recovering after the impacts from Tropical Storm Lion Rock there. But I pull back the bigger picture because I also want to show this. Yeah, here goes our storm system there. But look at that inflow coming across Palawan. Red level rainfall warnings in place there. As I mentioned, into Cebu, they had heavy rainfall and some downed trees today. And by Wednesday, Manila is actually going to look at an increase in showers too, all because of that kind of that feeder band that's coming through with this. Even that feeder band back towards the east into Taiwan too. I mean, there's a lot going on with the storm system. And like I said, it's a monsoonal gyre. You can kind of see it right here. This actually depicts it pretty well. Just the overall size of this really extending all the way back from southern Vietnam through Visayas. Then you could track some of those feeder bands wrapping around into Taiwan. This is what makes the Western Pacific different than any other basin. You know, tropical systems in the Atlantic, we're talking about a few hundred kilometers across. The influence of this storm is thousands of kilometers across. And just a look at the forecast for Taiwan, our friends out here. Heavy rainfall for sure coming on shore south of Taipei along the east coast. Remember, those mountains there are just steep. They are pointy. That's a technical term, I suppose. You know, several thousand meters high in spots. Those squeeze out tropical systems like a sponge, and that 300-400 millimeters or higher, very well possible along the east coast of Taiwan. So you can see here that flow coming in from the east and the west here across the Philippines, and eventually our storm moving off to Hainan and northern Vietnam, bringing that threat of flooding there too. All about the rainfall with this one here, my friends. I hope everybody's staying safe out there here on your Monday. We're heading into Tuesday as well, but at least for Monday, still talking about all that heavy rainfall here across northern Luzon, especially here into Region 1, Baguio, as I mentioned in my video I started off with here. Still looking at that additional precipitation as well. For Metro Manila, Tuesday and Wednesday, still got more rainfall. Feeder bands coming through, might start to get a little break by Thursday, but by the latter part of the week, I got more easterly flow that's going to start to set up, and that is going to continue to bring more moisture on the back side of this. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it really does help out those people that post here on Patreon. Not to mention, just hit the like, subscribe button, feed those YouTube algorithm gods. And before the storm system, well, it's already arrived, but make sure you know your official sources of information. I try to relay that as much as possible, but Pagasa being one here in the Philippines, and also prepare to evacuate if needed here, especially with the additional rainfall we're still going to be seeing through Tuesday morning. As always, thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.